Well, we're deactivating. Comes after the logging portion. And essentially what we do is we take the organics and cover the road up while we fill in the ditch and stuff, and then we spread out woody debris, and so that it slows down the water and it stops it from eroding and scouring, as well as the organic materials. They stop the water from eroding, subgrade the brown dirt. Part of deactivating is knowing best management practices. So you intentionally do things so that it creates a trap for sediment. So the water will go in, it'll slow right down, and the sediment will drop out at more of a natural way. You use some management practices and slow the water down.
It's really important with the work that Caitlin's doing with reclaiming everything and putting the organics back on the road. It's fertilizing the road. Like you had mentioned, all the natural seeding, everything is going back into it. And you know, before the practice, before it wasn't that. We had just left it and had gone, and you know, planters would come. But this, so when the planters come and they replant, also the trees should grow back a lot quicker too, and a lot stronger. And yeah, and then with the right water control, it's a perfect recipe to putting it back to more natural. And even especially with the way with the retention, the change has been incredible in the last couple of years, and it's really good to see.
It's probably one of the most important steps if we're going to be in here taking resources out. We've got to return it to so it could sustain itself. Stewardship to me is very important. On my days off even, I spend probably 90% of my time in the forest. I think stewardship's important for cultural and social aspects, so we can come and enjoy the forests while they still look like forests. And clear cut is the old way, where we would take 100% of the trees, very little retention, some deciduous, and that's about it. Whereas here, it's mostly retention. We take very little and we leave a lot more for the animal.
Well, I think you know, broadleaf for you know, the ungulates and stuff is huge. Going forward, it's what they survive on, and if we want to continue to see, you know, deer, moose, caribou, elk, everything, it's really is a big part of it. So I think it would be nice one day to not have any spraying in our territory. Spray free. They weren't spraying 1,000 years ago, so we shouldn't be spraying either, and we can figure out other ways of doing it.
It makes a big difference to the animals for corridors and stuff. Like a big open area, caribou and deer and moose, they're very easy to spot for wolves. With some of this forest cover, not only is the forest it's their food, like the caribou eat lichen off the trees, and the moose and stuff eat the bark, but it keeps them covered so they're not out in the open. In any industry, I think learning is important, to learn from mistakes and to gain experience.
You know, this is, I think, as far as for wildlife conservation, this is going to be a game changer in the forest industry. You know, from how we found it, you know, pre-exploration to now, and you know, myself, I want to have my grandkids out here and fishing these creeks, and you know, out hunting these roads, and you know, maybe out canoeing the lakes and the rest of it. So pretty important to myself, and I think everyone around to really adopt with all the changes that are coming too.